Hey guys, Kris here. Today we're doing yet another community video where I'm reading your comments and answering your questions. The last time I made a video like this, you guys seem to like it. I love reading your comments and I love answering them, and I love making these videos where we dive a little bit deeper into the comment section in the videos. And this is a type of format I want to do more of in the future. You know, this community video style where you answer questions. I answer questions, you ask questions, you comment, and yeah, I just read them and also answer some of the questions that I may find a little bit lengthy and I want to make a video on instead of, typing out. I don't always have the time to do that. So making a video like this is, yeah, it fits me better, and I hope it's something you guys like. And if you do like, please remember to like the video down below, and also consider hitting that subscribe button if you like the content on this channel. It's totally free and it costs you nothing. It helps the channel a bunch, and you can always change your mind at a later point in time. And if you're thinking about unsubscribing now, you're free to do that, but please don't. Please just stay subscribed. And if you are subscribed, please consider hitting that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the cool and upcoming videos I have on this channel. Yesterday evening, I came back from a 2-day race with Tesla Björn and his friend Powell to the Arctic Circle and back. Those videos will be out later this week or early next week because of scheduling. Yeah, it has to be pushed, forward a little bit. But I also have a review on this car coming, the Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus. I've been wanting to make, well, for a while now. I also have the Tesla Model Y for testing that may come out in the next few videos. And also the Volvo XC40 P8 Recharge. So a lot of cool and exciting videos in just the few days and weeks to come. So yeah, do all of that fun and cool stuff down below so don't miss out on the future content. So with that out of the way, let's dive into the comment section. And where I'm going to, read comments and answer from are the 2 videos I dropped last week of me, well, purchasing 2 new cars. If you haven't seen those videos, link in the description box down below. I'm going to be answering questions from those videos. So if you want a little bit more context, I recommend you guys to watch those videos. They are pretty cool. You guys seem to like those videos. Okay, does not matter what car you will get, your vids are going to be always the best. So Kris, do not lose money. Enjoy the E-Tron GT, which is a superb EV. Greetings from Barcelona. Thank you so much, Gary. Gary, you comment on basically all of my videos. I really do appreciate it, dude. I'm going to come to Barcelona, hopefully with my E-Tron GT. I'm planning a trip to the south of Europe. I'm getting my 2nd vaccine shot tomorrow, meaning I will be able to travel freely in Europe. I can't wait. And I'm planning a trip to Spain, and I want to go to the south of Spain, maybe all the way to Gibraltar. And that means passing Barcelona. So I'm gonna hit you up, dude, to get, a little bit tips and tricks for charging, because Ionity isn't very built out in Spain yet. So I'm going to have to use another provider. And also, if I have more Spanish viewers and you guys want it, maybe we'll do a meetup in Barcelona. That would be very cool. You guys can check out the E-Tron GT and we can, have a coffee, have a beer, whatever. Not while driving though, but yeah. Wonderful car, congratulations. A sports car is tempting, but I will keep my E-Tron. The extra 8 centimeters of ground clearance is nice to have on rough Norwegian roads. Thank you so much, Ivan. Yeah, I can't wait to get the E-Tron GT and also the Cross Turismo. The E-Tron GT is, arguably more of a sports car, but I mean, the Cross Turismo is pretty exciting and cool. But yeah, I totally get, I love my E-Tron 55, and guys, it's also up for sale now at Marcusbil. They finally put it up for sale. I'm going to link that in the description box down below. So if you're looking for an E-Tron GT with a wonderful spec, well, that's your car. It's priced aggressively to, well, I want to sell it fast because I don't want to, own that car while I have all these cars coming. But yeah, they put up the pictures just the other day and it looks immaculate. I'm like, I want to buy that, but I'm like, I already own that and I'm trying to sell it. So yeah. Okay, but yeah, E-Tron with the 8 centimeters of ground clearance, extra air suspension on Norwegian roads. Yeah, it's a wonderful car. No wonder they sold like 15,000 of them last year here in Norway. Congratulations on both cars. You need to plan road trips where you need to cross Germany to test them on the Autobahn. Yes, I am going to test them on the Autobahn. That is the plan. And what really prompted the purchase of the E-Tron GT, which also, kickstarted the purchase of the Cross Turismo, was my trip to Italy, where I drove the Polestar 2 on the Autobahn. If you haven't seen those videos, guys, link in the description box down below. I did an epic trip, 5,000 kilometers from Oslo to Italy and then back again in 5 days. But yeah, that car was awesome. But what I didn't like is the limited top speed to 205 kilometers an hour or 210 on the speedometer. So when I got home, I basically just within a few days ordered an e-tron GT because, yeah, I want to go VMAX and fast on the Autobahn. Great tour of Marcusbil. Didn't see this exposure at Nylands. Yeah, okay, so I wanted to make a video where I showed Marcusbil showroom, where they have every EV in one place. I mean, where else in the world or on YouTube can you watch a video or go to a showroom where you have, I don't know, Model X, Model S, Model Y, Model 3, Big e-tron, e-tron GT, Q4 e-tron, Jaguar I-Pace, Volkswagen ID3, ID4, Skoda Enyaq. I mean, Porsche Taycan. The list goes on. All the cars they have, in one dealership is pretty freaking amazing. And I wanted to show that. Though some people were negative with the comments where people were like, oh, I just watched a 10-minute ad. But the reality, guys, of this YouTube thing is that with only 24,000 subscribers and the view counts I have, which is, I'm thankful for all of the subscribers and all of the views I'm getting, I couldn't be happier. It's not enough to finance and pay for all the trips through Norway, through Europe, eating, charging, hotels, and all the costs that I have with this YouTube channel. For the last 6 months, this is costing me money, but I'm so passionate and so determined that this is something I want to do for, I don't know, the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, that I know if I just make it to a certain view count and subscriber count, this will pay for itself, right? So you guys get the free content, but also I have to pay for the bills, my rent, my house, my electricity, the cars, the food. So, getting sponsors and getting, collabs like with Marcusbil where they can help me out, of course, I'm going to do that. And you guys get the free content. Remember, you're not paying anything here, guys. And we want to keep it that way. But if you do want to support the channel in other ways, you can always go to the description box down below and buy my 0% state of charge merch. You can also buy me charging, becoming a patron. So you're still able to do all of that stuff. But as you guys have seen, the ads and commercials I have had here on the channel are very focused around EVs and car stuff. And I've said no to like 99% of the sponsors who want to work with me, and I've hand selected the companies I want to work with because I want it to be relevant here. I don't want to like promote companies that have nothing to do with EVs and nothing to do with cars or charging. That's why the companies I've had have been Wallbox. I'm going to do Saptech now. We had Autodoc, which is car parts. I'm going to have BKK from next month, BKK Bilkraft, which do fast charging. And I did meet Deck Hotel, and I made an interesting video out of that where I talked about my past. But they have, tire hotels. They can sell you wheels and tires. They can do car repairs. So, I mean, all of the things and the people I want to work with here on the channel are people and companies I have hand selected where I'm already, satisfied with the product and service. And when I'm satisfied with service and products, I have no problem promoting that and making cool content because I want to make, ads or sponsored content more like streamlined and integrated into the video. Like the video I dropped on Sunday where I talked about what I used to do before YouTube. If you haven't seen that video, link in the description box down below. It didn't feel like me just reading a script because I didn't read a script. We had a 2-hour meeting before where I noted the things I wanted to talk about, what I found, important to talk about, and then I spent the 2-3 next hours like shooting a video where I was very happy with the end product. So we all win in the end. You can get, the free content. I can get, paid for doing this thing because it's basically my full-time job now, even though it's not paying like a full-time job. So that being said, I have no problem, you know, exposing Marcusbil here to the moon because I'm so happy with their service. They've been helping me a lot. And you know, Björn has his different thing. He has his Stormbike, he has his a better route planner. We do different things on different channels. But I really like what Marcusbil is doing, so I have no problem. I want to show their dealership more in the future. And my E-Tron GT, you know, delivery video will be done at their dealership in Arendal, so you guys can see that also, to see all the cool and exciting cars they have down there. Nice showroom. I'm so jealous, enjoying the new car, looking forward to the videos. Again, most of the comments from Marcusbil were very positive, but there were a few like, oh, I just watched a 10-minute commercial. I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. Okay, we're gonna move forward. Looking forward to your adventures with the E-Tron GT. The only thing against the Audi badge is that you only get an Audi for Porsche money. In every other respect, I love it. Better looking and better switchgear than Porsche. So yeah, I totally understand this. And this is the problem I had every time I had the press car, the E-Tron GT press car. I went home, configured it. It came out to 1.1 million. And I'm like, I can get a Porsche for that price. Why would I buy an Audi when I could get the Porsche? And then I started driving a little bit back to back. And I actually do prefer the switchgear, the ergonomics, the layout in the Audi to the Porsche. But we'll see after a few months of ownership. Maybe I won't mind the Porsche, but like immediately first impressions of both cars that I would prefer owning and driving the Audi day to day within the cabin. I've been watching your videos and enjoy watching. In your opinion, which is the best cheap electric car you can think of? Oh, yeah, this is a very good question. So if I were to buy like a cheap EV to have a practical car to use every day that would just work and do the job and give me the flexibility to go on longer trips and the practicality, it would probably be a Volkswagen ID.3, either the 45 kilowatt hour battery pack version or the 58 kilowatt hour. Probably I would spend a little bit more money to get the 58 kilowatt hour version because even with the smaller motor in that, you could get it with like the 150 and the 204. It's not that punchy, but you do get that range and that charging speed. And I do like the look of the ID.3. But if it were going to be a car that, you know, I was a little bit more passionate about, you know, speaking a little bit more through the emotional side, it would probably be a Peugeot E-208 because I just love the look of that car, and the interior in the Peugeot is so much better than the interior in the Volkswagen. But it is a smaller car with less range potentially if you get, you know, compared to the 45 kilowatt and the 58 kilowatt hour version of the ID.3, and is also cheaper. So yeah, I mean, those two cars, I don't think you can go wrong with any of those cars if you're looking for a cheap EV. Glad to see your channel taking another path than Björn Nyland's, enjoying both channels. Yeah, I mean, Lars Pettit, that's a very nice comment. Thank you so much. I've, you know, on purpose, you know, trying to do things different from Björn because we often test the same cars. Like this car, we've been switching it up back and forth like it's our girlfriend, right? No, I'm just kidding. That's more of a Björn joke. But yeah. But so we have to try to do like I said to myself, if I'm going to compete with Björn, I want to do things different from him. So you can see I have a different editing style. We have some overlapping with, you know, the tests we do, but we do most of the things differently, though, you know, there's only an X amount way to test cars. I want to do things different to Björn because if you want Björn content, you can go to Björn's channel. If you want my type of content, you can come here. But yeah, I enjoy watching Björn's videos. As I said, I've just been back from a 2-day trip with Björn, which was super, super fun. I can't wait to upload those videos. But yeah, we're going to do different paths. He's more on the Tesla, and I'm more on, yeah, other EVs, more luxury EVs. Congratulations, buying a new car is always a complicated process at a psychological level. It's conditioning of the brain against practicality and affordability against how a person wants to be perceived by others. My brother-in-law is an Audi guy, and I'm trying to convince him to switch to E-Tron GT from his fossil Audi. Yeah, I mean, in my experience on this channel, and especially the past year where, you know, I've had a lot of people commenting, and especially if I'm a bit negative of, you know, a Tesla. I'm sitting in a Tesla now, Center Range Plus. I love this car. This car at this price point, spec like this, really makes sense. And this being the Chinese produced one, it feels so much more solid and better than the Fremont car I had earlier this year, but I'm going to cover that in a whole different video. But in my experience, there are two different types of car buyers, or probably more, but like two main types. And the first type is the people who want the most bang for your buck, like the most range, the most practicality, the most features, the most tech, the most performance, right? And those people often can't be persuaded by material quality or the sound of a door shut or how a car looks, you know, all of these emotional things that appeal to the other buyer group, which in my opinion is people who purchase cars with emotions. And in my experience, when you get to a certain price point, just, you know, specs alone isn't enough. You want that emotional appeal. Like spending 1,000,000 kroners on a car, I want something that, you know, speaks to my emotions, that when I get into the car, it makes me feel special, it makes me feel different. So you have those two different car buyers, in my opinion, and that's the reason why often I can't, or you can't argue with people, you know, being hardcore to the Tesla brand, because those people are often, you know, more to the logical side, more to the, you know, I want the most car for my money, I want the most range, and that's basically half the population. So there's nothing wrong with that, but that's why you can't, you know, argue, and there's no right perspective. But yeah, convincing your brother, if you can make him drive one, like I've done many times, and he really wants one, you may be able to persuade him. But at the end of the day, I think he has to drive them, to drive the E-Tron GT, and then he has to want that car. He has to have a desire for that car, like I had, meaning I could, you know, go that extra mile to get one. Why expensive cars and not cars in the price class under 400,000 kroners? Lars Henrik Jensen, that is a very good question. So I want to do more cheaper cars, like, but my channel has also been built on luxury cars, at least here in Norway, like expensive cars. I started basically my channel, my very first video was taking delivery of my Volvo XC90 back in 2016, the first car I bought at above 1,000,000 kroners, by far the most expensive car I had bought at that point in time. And that's just been, you know, what I do here on the channel. I do, you know, premium, I do luxury, I do these expensive cars, and that's just my style. And getting, you know, the Turismo and the E-Tron GT is just, you know, fits within the character of this channel. I mean, it's totally within character. I'm not doing anything people wouldn't expect right at this point. If you're expecting me to sell my E-Tron 55 and getting, I don't know, a Renault Zoe, or I don't know, a MG, what's that, MGZ, that would be totally left field, right? But I totally respect your question, and it's a very good question, because I do want to also feature more cheap EVs, but right now I don't have the economy, right now I don't have the room or space to have, you know, a second or a third or potentially a fourth car. I have enough cars to test now, so, you know, I'm quite fully booked, but I will, you know, be reviewing these cheap cars. But at some point I do want to get like a cheaper EV to do the Norwegian test, to do the long-term testing, to drive to the south of Italy, or the south of France, or the south of Spain, to Portugal, to Croatia. Heck, I want to go to Turkey in an EV. At some point I want to go to China, Africa, around the world. There are no limitations. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. But yeah, like this channel thus far has been, you know, towards the premium and luxury side, so I'm going to keep in that ballpark, but potentially in the future I will get something cheaper. Thanks for great videos, Kris. I'm considering E-Tron GT or Cross Turismo. After a short drive with a CT, how will you describe the difference in normal everyday driving, comfort, noise, etc.? I'm absolutely in love with the GT, but I think the ground clearance might be too low entering my driveway and cabin. Okay, so the E-Tron GT, if you get it on air suspension, you're able to raise the car. When I had the RS, me and my daughter went to Grimstad to visit some friends. We went to the beach one day, and this beach, you had to drive on to the beach to park, and it was a bit bumpy. And my friend in the 5 Series, he has 5 Series wagon, and he was like, oh, I was so worried about you, you know, scraping the car. And I'm like, I have air suspension. I could lift it up like 5 centimeters. No problems at all. So You could do mild off-roading with that car. Depends on your driveway and also depends on your cabin. As long as you get it with air suspension, there shouldn't be a problem. And also Cross Turismo has 1 centimeter higher ground clearance in standard mode than E-Tron GT. And also if you get the off-road package with the the Cross Turismo, it's even 1 centimeter higher. But the maximum lift height in the Cross Turismo with or without the off-road pack is the same. So I don't think you can actually go higher than in the E-Tron GT. I'll probably test this in the future when I have both cars, but I think they will go to the same maximum height. So I don't think, getting the Cross Turismo will make it any easier for you. Just get the E-Tron GT with the air suspension, and I think you will be good. And then the difference, so the main difference is also, of course, the cabin, the ergonomics. In my opinion, the E-Tron GT has better controls. You have physical climate control. You have, this gear selector down here. You have a volume touch pad down here. You also have more buttons on the steering wheel. So it's easier and simpler to use. But I don't know. After a few months of ownership on both cars, I may easily get used to them, and that may not be an issue. But hopping and switching in between those two, I prefer the switchgear in the E-Tron GT. When it comes to noise levels, it's about the same. Steering in the Porsche is much more direct and better than in the E-Tron GT. But ride comfort in the E-Tron GT is, one of the best riding cars ever. It's so nice and more comfortable and softer than the Cross Turismo. Hot damn, the content on the Cross Turismo is going to be fire. Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be fire. This kicks off the version 2 of your channel. Good luck. Don't know what version 2 is, but okay, I'll go with that. Version 2, launched. I'd support the channel regardless of what you drive, Kris, cause your videos are great. Don't stress yourself too much. Okay, thank you so much, Roy. I've been getting a lot of comments lately where people are so positive, especially after, my trip to Italy. Thank you so much, guys. I am so grateful for all the positive comments. It's really heartwarming and really motivates me to make more videos. So I'm so glad you guys are enjoying the content, the videos, and for all the new subscribers, thank you so much for coming here, and welcome, guys. The future of this channel is just going to get better and better. I can't wait. Isn't it more sensible to just loan a GT or Taycan, do the trips, test in a week, and return them? Buying and selling after 3 months sounds to me like a waste of money. Or keep it for a long time, a couple of years, and see if something breaks or needs repair to get more content. Okay, so I'm able to do like a week loan on these press cars, maybe a little bit longer when, the initial newness of the car wears down, where everybody isn't in queue to have the car. All the press here in Norway, and also I'm always competing with Björn. I feel like I'm getting his sloppy seconds. Like every time I get a car before him, I'm like, yes, victory. But yeah, so I'm able to do those tests, but I want to do the long-term testing, like just 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, 3 months. Lets me do much more with a car, and living with a car for the long term really gives you a different perspective on the car. And also me just being able to, like, next week or in 2 days, I want to drive to Portugal. I want to drive to Rome. I want to drive to, I don't know, Beijing. I have the freedom to do whatever I want without, having to book, having to ask permission, having to argue and making my case. I can just take my own car, charge it up, and then be on my way. I want that flexibility. And also, I think, everybody, and this is everybody who has a press car, feels some kind of obligation, small or big, is different from person to person, to maybe be positive towards that brand so you are prioritized for the next loan. I'm not saying that anybody does this or this is, widespread, but, there's a small incentive to be maybe more positive than you are. I don't feel that pressure. You can see from my channel where I've driven all the ID cars, MEB platform cars from Volkswagen Group, where I've been pretty negative of them, and they keep giving me cars. But we are lucky here in Norway that we have this free press. We're actually ranked one of the most free press of any country in the world, where the manufacturers are often very clear about they have no say in what we make or influence us. I could be like, I want to borrow this car and I'm going to make this content, and they're like, yeah, you do that, but we're not going to at all give you any guidelines or tell you to be positive or negative, because yeah, the free press here in Norway is really very free. But that being said, like, I want to own the car, so I want to have the experience of, you know, ordering it, picking it up, doing the first 10,000 kilometers, and then, you know, selling it, and all of that stuff. So I will probably have cars for longer periods of time than 3 months. But right now, I wanted to test the E-Tron GT. I wanted to try to test it across Turismo. But maybe I'll have one, you know, car on the channel where I have it for a year or maybe two. And then I have one car I can switch up. It all depends on how many views my videos get, how many subscribers my channel gets, how many likes and comments. So that's why it's so important. If you're new here and you like these videos, you subscribe to the channel. If you're watching these videos and you've been watching them for a while, just hit that subscribe button. It really helps me. It doesn't cost you anything. And also, just liking the video really helps with the YouTube algorithm. It puts this on the front page of more and more, you know, viewers, potentially making this channel grow. So I have the freedom to, well, test all the cars, and we can do whatever the heck we want independent of any manufacturer. That is my end goal, to like put the money I make on YouTube back into the channel to just do awesome content, because yeah, I love doing this. I love traveling. I love testing all of these new cars, and I love making these videos and, you know, having this community with you guys. This back and forth conversation is really does mean a lot to me, guys. So yeah, so guys, I really do hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below, and for more car content, as always guys, please subscribe. See you guys later, and goodbye.